What is going on, everybody? John Zam, shiftingfitness.com, and I've got a thing that popped up on my Facebook, and I've ranted about it in the last 3 videos that I've tried to make, and it was how to make your arms look more toned. I know what that means. It means that you want to, make them look less flabby. You want to maybe have a little bit of muscle showing, but very specifically, not look like a man, okay? This came from a Facebook post, someone I don't really know that well, and they posted that they want to tone up their arms. How do they tone up their arms without looking manly? Every post or every comment said high reps, low weight. And every comment was awful. High reps, low weight. Somebody said, you should work really hard at the gym, but then don't eat any protein. Which was the worst comment. I just want to point this out really quickly. There's a sweet card. I just want to point this out really quickly. Why would you comment and answer someone's question if you don't know the right answer? If someone asked Facebook, how do I bake a cake? I wouldn't answer that, son. I wouldn't answer by saying you should put eggs and water and flour and sugar into a bowl, mix it up, stick in the oven. That's basically what you're saying by commenting on saying high reps, low weight. Because number one, it's not right, and I'm sure maybe there's something to do with a cake there, I think. Just like doing high reps and low weight, there's something to do with working out there, that's good. But you're not addressing the issue, and the issue when someone wants to be toned is that they have too much fat. They've got to lean down, they've got to slim down, they've got to lose a little bit of fat. So the way you do that, let me stop ranting, the way you do that is by dieting better. You have to be in a caloric deficit. You've got to lose some fat on your arms to be able to see the different muscles, which is what you want to see. You don't want to be jacked, you don't want to be ripped and veiny and stuff. That's fine. You probably won't be. You're a woman who wants to be toned. I understand. You don't want to have huge arms. So what you should do is you should be in a calorie deficit, number one. You've got to lose a little bit fat. Number two, you should make sure that you're working out. You should work out a little bit. You want to be toned. You should probably lift some weights. The way you do that doesn't have to be high reps and low weight. You just can't go overboard on the volume. And somebody might be thinking to themselves right now like, oh, women can't build big muscles. But, and I agree, they're not going to build big muscles like a man, but they can build muscle. And I've had 1 or 2 clients in my lifetime, and I've had a lot of clients who were a low enough body fat percentage that they were lean and they thought their muscles were too big. I mean, that's definitely happened. I don't think that. I want to be very clear. I think more muscle is good, but I mean, it's your goals. So if you don't want to be very muscular, number one, like most people would say to me, most professionals, you're not going to get too muscular. You're probably not going to be overly muscular if you get down to the correct leanness. But I mean, maybe, you really don't want to be. So I do suggest still lifting weights, because you should. But maybe not quite as much as, say, I would, right? So I lift weights about 5 days a week, and I work out for about an hour and a half a day, and it's all focused on lifting, all focused on growing my muscles or getting stronger or whatever. What you should focus on is lifting weights with proper form, growing a little bit stronger, and, doing total body movements. Or total body working out. So what I mean, that was an awful sentence. What I mean is you should focus on all the muscles. You should do legs, you should do chest, you should do back, you should do shoulders, you should biceps, triceps, but maybe not focus on biceps and triceps quite as much as I would. Maybe not focus on traps, because I know a lot of ladies don't like that. Maybe not focus as much on traps. Make sure when you're doing any sort of back, it's not in, just upright rows and things like that. That might focus a little bit more on your traps. If you feel like you're getting too big, and you're only lifting 2 or 3 days a week for about an hour at a time, chances are you're not getting too big, all right? Too much muscle. Chances are you're not getting too much muscle. You might be getting bigger, but you need to then take down the calories a little bit. Make sure you're losing fat. And it's of course a thing like, hey, I'm losing fat, but I'm gaining muscle, so I'm not losing weight. You should probably be able to lose fat weight faster than you can build muscle, especially ladies. Like it's super tough for ladies to build a considerable considerable amount of muscle, so it's super hard. So I mean, if you're lifting 2 or 3 days a week, or maybe your workouts are like half lifting, half cardio, that's fine too. It's all good, but you should lift all rep ranges to be healthy, to be fit, to be well-rounded. And more importantly, higher reps can actually build more muscle than low reps with heavy weight. So if you're gonna do 5 reps the best you can, the heaviest you can, of course you should, because otherwise you're wasting your time. So you do 5 reps, you're tired by 5, it's tough by 5, you put the weights down, whatever. And then if you do the same exercise for 15 reps, and at 15 it's really high, that's pretty high reps. 15 it's really hard, rather. You're probably building more sizable muscle at 15 reps than you are at 5. Okay, there's a lot more that goes into it, but there's a couple ways muscles are built, and I want to talk about it right now. If you want to jump off right now, that's fine. Diet, be in a calorie deficit, lift weights, just a well-rounded workout. You're gonna be all set. And if you don't want to get too big, don't do too much volume. All right, jump off, you're good. If you want to learn how muscles are grown, I'll give you 2 ways. There's 2 main ways. It's either sacroplasmic hypertrophy or myofibrillar hypertrophy. Hypertrophy just means bigger, okay? Sacroplasmic hypertrophy, don't judge me for the way I say things, okay? That is your muscle's energy basically getting bigger. You're expanding the amount of energy that each muscle is storing. That is a fluid-like substance. You're expanding that, your muscle gets bigger. Awesome, you can do more reps, higher reps, right? Now, myofibrillar hypertrophy, don't judge me for how I say that. That is your fiber of your muscle either gaining more fibers or making those fibers bigger. That is done primarily by heavy weights. Now, the energy that you store is usually looks bigger than the heavier weights, looks bigger and puffier than the heavier weights. Let me give you an example. The best bodybuilder in the world is much bigger than the strongest power lifter in the world. Okay, so powerlifting is how much weight you can lift. Bodybuilding is how big your muscles can be, very simplified. And once again, bodybuilders are bigger, but they're not stronger than powerlifters. So remember that powerlifting, lifting really heavy weights for less reps, builds less muscular size than lifting more reps and less weight, right? So if I wanted to grow my chest, I would do like, number one, I would do all rep ranges because that's the best way to grow muscle. But if I had to pick one thing to do, I would do 10 sets of 10, which is called German volume training. That's a lot of reps. 10 reps is a lot. If I wanted to get stronger, but necessarily not bigger, I would do maybe 3 sets or 5 sets of 3 reps, okay? So my point is, don't answer questions that you don't know the answer to. Lighter weight and higher reps doesn't guarantee you're not going to gain muscle. That is one of the ways you gain muscle. Lift in all rep ranges, everyone should. It just maybe depends on how often or how much, like how many sets you do. That's what really gauges how you get stronger. Don't waste your time. If you can do 15 reps and you stop at 10, I'm not sure there's a point to doing that exercise. Unless you're working on your skills, which is a different thing. If you're a Olympic lifter, and you want to be better at lifting, like skill-wise, you can work submaximally. Or even if you're a power lifter, you can work submaximally and get better at that exercise. But I'm talking about how you look for the most part. So just if you want to look better, you've got to get your diet down. You've got to lift in all rep ranges, and then the volume and frequency controls how much size of muscle you're going to gain. And ladies, once again, you're not going to gain that much muscle regardless of what you do because you're a woman. But I understand if you don't want to gain like any muscle at all. But anyway, that's it. That's all I've got for all my one viewer that I have left. Thanks for hanging in there. John Zam, shiftingfitness.com. Don't answer questions you don't know the answer to. I'll see you guys next time.